Right, the zip is right there. Going to put a little bit of talc on the back of this because it's making squeaky noise, which would indicate that it's dragging, and I don't want it to have an awful finish. So let's cut this off. And put a bit of talc on my hands, and then just run this talc over here, because it's this bit here that's making the noise. I think it's something to do with this. My tape's come off, so I might actually put a bit of felt on that. Ah, there it is. That's what it is. A bit of tape on my hoop. Well, hopefully it will stop making a noise now. Don't know. Might do. Might help. I think that did help. Now it's going to start doing the two straps. Now the straps are done, it's going to give me placement guide for the rivets on the straps, so that every time you make the strap, the rivets will be in the same place. And now we need to add the bow. It's going to give me the placement for the bow first of all. So now we take our bow that we've already cut, and we place these two together in the centre of the bow, like so, and we turn the bow upside down like that, and then we place that. There's no up way, there's no right way or wrong way for this bow, but it doesn't go with the joins on the outside. The joins go on the underneath, so we turn the bow upside down, and then we place the bow with the bits together over the placement and lower the needle down, and it will do a smaller square in the middle. What I have remembered is I haven't got the same colour bobbin, so because my lining is red, I need to have a red bobbin, otherwise it's going to be really noticeable. So change my bobbin over to a red. Right, the bobbin's been changed over to a red, and we're going to place this back over the placement square, lower the needle like that, and sew the bow down. If you want to leave it like that, leave it like that. But I have done a stitched square which will stitch over the top of that now. And the last stitch is not needed, it just stops the machine from going in the middle, because there's a chance that you could catch that like I did earlier on, and it's, yeah, just miss this out, don't do it. So now this is finished, and that is your bow added on to there we go, added onto the bag. That's the bow there. So now I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to stitch up the bag strap and also the seams of the bag. Didn't realise I have had the whole thing on pause, so I even showed you how to use the scalloped head scissors. How can I show you? Right, I've been asked, how do I get a continuous scalloped edge on my my finished bags. I'll show you. Where's my scissors? Right, so you've got a 3/4 of a scallop at the top, and the rest of them are full scallops. So wherever you oh, let me see, what can I use? I'll use a biro. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm cutting this out. So I'll do a heart for you. Yeah, there's one there, and there's one there, like that. Right, so I'm going to cut this heart out with a scalloped edge finish. I always start on the right because I'm right-handed, so I always try and give a full scallop at the beginning. My scissors are not very sharp at the moment. I need to get them sharpened. But when I open and close my scissors, I put the scallop back in the last one that I'd already done. These are not scissors for paper, these are scissors for fabric. So always put your scallop in the last scallop that you did, so that it will cut continuous. And that's how you do a scallop edge. I'm gutted that I didn't stop. I didn't press play, so I could, because I was waffling along. So yeah, I've cut everything out now. So we've got the bag, we've got 2 enforcers there and there, and we've got 2 straps. The straps, you need to cut this part here really tight, that bit there, you need to cut that tight, but the rest of it you don't need to worry about yet. And what will happen is, this bit here needs to be cut tight as well. What will happen with the strap is this will go into here, and then we'll stitch them together. So the reason that you need it nice and tight is because if you didn't cut it nice and tight, they wouldn't sit close. So you want it to sit as close as possible and line them lines up. Okay, like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch up the sides of the bag. You can use a sewing machine if you want to, but because I have said that this is a in the hoop bag, I will be showing you how to stitch up the sides using a 4x4 hoop. I think it's a 4x4 hoop, let me see. Yes, it is. It's a 4x4 hoop. I do everything here so that you can see what I'm doing. Right, so first of all I need, have I got enough? I might have enough bobbin. I didn't really do a lot of bobbin. Let's redo this again. We need to stitch the placement lines onto the stabiliser first of all. Then we take both corners and match them up. Okay, so match both the corners of the bag so it is good side and good side, so the lining is showing, doesn't matter which way you do it. And then place your lower the needle into the top corner, place your stitch line over your stitch line guide so that they're both sitting over it, and stitch it down You can use a bit of tape if you want to. Show you. A bit of tape like that, if you want to. If you need to, get this tape off. If you see that you need to remove a little bit that's a little bit too much, now's your opportunity to take it off. I'll show you how you do it. Just put my hand underneath and then push the purse up and just remove this so it's nice and tight. Put it back on and then do a satin stitch. If you don't want to do a satin stitch, jump over to the next part now. And all it's doing now is the satin stitch on the seam. Now that that bit's done, we'll do the other bit. So now we need to remove this. I've just lifted up the corner and I'm going to run my finger along underneath and it tears it away, so I can carry on using the same bit of stabiliser for the other seam. Again, line the two edges of the purse up together, place them over the stitch line, placement guide, and the bow doesn't get in your way, and lower the needle into the very top corner and lay the rest over your stitched line. This time I don't have anything that I need to remove, so I can do the satin stitch. Now I'm going to add box torners, so I'm going to stitch out the placement for the first one. Carefully remove the thing from the bag, the bag from the stabilizer. Now my finger's sticking out of the edge of the corner, so what I need to do is I need to push these seams together like so and turn it over so that I can sew the seams together to make a boxed corner. Place it over the placement line that we've just done and stitch it down. My hand, I've got to hold it, I can't not let hold it. And now it will stitch the placement for the other corner. I don't think my machine likes Monday mornings. tear this off and do the same for the other corner. We need to be more careful with this one because the satin stitch is right up to the edge. So I'm going to slow the machine down when I go over this one, I think. Just check on it yourself beforehand. Let's lower that down. Yes, it might cause a little bit of a trouble, I don't know yet. I'm just going to slow my machine right down, I think, by keeping my finger on the start button until I get over that little satin stitch edge. I think I'm over it now. And the last stitch you don't need to do. So now go through the bag and just make sure that you've trimmed all of the threads up. There's a couple of ones that are a little bit too small for me to trim out, so I'm just going to run a lighter over them if I can find my lighter. If not, I'll just leave it for now. Okay, so let's turn this bag out. And there's one of the corners, the other corner there. Yeah, they're both caught. They're both nice. So that's the bag. The bag's done. And what I need to do now is do the straps, and let's do the straps now. The strap bit is it that one? Yep. Okay, let's change this stabilizer to a new bit. Use that bit. I keep the stabilizer. Use that way. I keep the stabilizer from the big bits of the big hoops. So I've always got bits already torn up ready. Right, so let's stitch the placement for the bag first of all. That's the placement. Put the two bag straps together and then lay them over the placement guide that you've just done. Now what we need to do is no, go that way, go to the top, put the man into the lady and the man's on top. Right, that's it. And then line up the stitch lines together and lower the needle into the right hand side of the belt stitch line there. Hope I'm making sense. And then we need to just make sure that this doesn't move. I'm going to put a bit of tape on there, and I'm also going to put a bit of tape on the top so that I know it's not going to move when I stitch it together. And make sure that your line is running straight, because if your line is wonky, it's still going to stitch straight. I've done these steps separately just in case you find that it's not straight enough for you. Mine is, but just in case, I've added the steps separately. So that is what it looks like right now. So the man is in the woman like that, and now it's going to stitch a rectangle. The bobbin is still red. And that's how you stitch the bag straps together. So you can see it sits in perfectly in between the two stitch lines. So now that that's done, I'm going to remove this from the hoop, take the tape off first of all, and then remove this. And then what I need to do is I need to cut the bag strap out. So I'm going to start from the bottom and cut nice and tight to the stitch line. It's probably about 1 millimetre away. And I'm going to go over the join now. If you notice, my scissors always stay still. It's only the open and close motion that I'm doing with my hand. My left hand is the one that turns everything. It's not my scissor hand. My scissor hand just goes open and close, open and close, open and close. And that's how I get a nice smooth finish on everything that I cut out. People say to me, how do you get that so nice? Well, this is how. My scissor hand only opens and closes while my left hand does the turning, and I take it nice and easy. And that's the strap finished. Isn't that great? So now I'm going to cut all these little ends off. And then we're going to add this to the bag. Okay, so first of all we need to have some rivets. I'm using some rhinestone rivets on the bag strap, and I'm using some plain rivets to add the strap enforcers to the bag. Now first of all we need to bend the strap enforcers over like so, and punch out 2 little holes in each of the corners. I'm going as close as I can to the corner, and I'm doing it on both corners, and then when I open it out it's on all corners like so. And I need to do that on both of the strap enforcers. So match them all up and punch out the corners as close as you can without actually cutting through the stitch lines. And then again you need to punch out some holes on this as well. So I'm going either side of the satin stitched seam. Close, pretty close. And I'm going to do this one as well. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. My apologies, I thought you could see. This is a revolving hole punch that I'm using. Right, so all the holes punched out. Make sure I go through both layers. Yep. So all of the holes are punched out. I need to get 2 split rings. I'm using split rings. You could use clasps if you wanted to. But what we need to do is we need to open one of these up, fold the split ring, fold it through the middle of the split ring like so, and then attach this onto the side of the bag. I find it easier to do the inside one first. So line up, put the post through first, and get it through the other end, and then add the cap on the inside of the bag like so. Okay, and then line up the second one, post through the hole, and then out through the other side, and then line up the cap, put the cap on the top, and again for the other side. So place it over your split ring, or through your split ring, sorry. Fold it over. You could use, if you wanted to, you could use D-clasp, D-rings. They work just as well, but I haven't got any, and I've got to use what I've got. So post through the hole, out the other end, and then put the cap on. And again, post through the hole, through the bag, and out the other end again. Now I need to make sure that these are really closed, so I'm going to use my my cam snap closure, and I'm just going to gently, very very gently squeeze, because I don't want this side to be damaged. I'm putting the cap, the black cap, over this side here, and I'm going to get a little dent in the inside, but that's okay. But I just want to make sure that it closes okay. Give it a little squeeze, and the same on the other side. Just a gentle squeeze. You can feel when it's squeezing it. And I have put a little dent in them, but that's okay. It's not gonna open. So now we need to do the strap, which is this. Cut all of these little ends off, don't lose your cap. And then I need to punch out the holes. Using my revolving hole punch. I'm not going to use, shall I or shan't I? Maybe I will. No, I'm not. I'm going to add this straight to this strap here. If you don't want to, if you want to be able to take your strap off, then add something like this. This would be easy, so you can remove the strap, but I want the strap to stay on. So I'm going to add it that way, and put rivet on the outside, because who doesn't like a bit of bling? And then add the cap on the inside. Again, use my rivet. This time I'm going to put the black cap over the back, because I can push on the rivet. Yeah, push it enough. Yep. and then make sure you don't twist your strap as you're doing this. Place it through there and add your rivet. More fingers and thumbs this morning. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, that's through. Bend the strap over and add the cap on the inside. If you wanted to add a longer strap to this, there is a design in our Etsy shop which is a long strap. It's a thinner strap and it's a much longer strap. I think it uses a 5x7 hoop. But yeah, that's that done. And now I'm going to add a twist clasp. And the colour that I'm going to go for this time is like a I'm going to go for a brassy one, like an antique gold. So one of them, one of those, and also one of those. So let's add that now. Craft knife or a scalpel. Get this out of the way. Right, so I'm going to need to add the top of the clasp to the top of the bag. So push down on there and there. Give myself a little square to cut out. Come that underneath. Cut the corners off enough there. There. So the bit with the two prongs goes through the bag. Line it up, make it nice and straight, and then add. Push the. I haven't got my hammer to hand, so I'll use this. Push them down. That part done. Then I need to add this part, so I'm going to place that over there like so and push these two bits in there. Mind your fingers, two little lines, and then you push your last part through and then add the back. You can either push these two bits inwards or you can push them outwards. So today I'm going to push them outwards like that. And if you are part of our group, there is a free handmade label that you can download and you can stick over the back of that, which look great. So this is the bag finished, and there you go. I hope you have enjoyed seeing how it's made and what not to do, and hopefully you subscribe to my channel with all my blunders. You will be notified when I add something new, and you'll be able to make it with me. Toodaloo for now.